There was this one time I did a podcast, and then it was like 2 hours in, and I realized this shit wasn't recording. I was like, oh my god, but at least this one was recording. Oh, that fucked me up so bad. I was like, what the fuck? Basic. Well, welcome to the Filipino Garage, Mr. Marc Escobar.
Thank you for having me, Kuya.
Pablo? Is that you? Related?
I'd be rich by now.
Could you please share with us a little piece that you have for us?
Yeah, sure. So, I used to do poetry. Well, I kind of stopped. I did it mostly during CC. A lot, or actually the most, if not all, during CC. You know, because CC was a very reflective time.
Yeah. Where'd you go to CC?
Skyline College.
Skyline College, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. So, this is one of like my very first poems. So, very short. The first one's very short. It's when like I had like a bit of like an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was.
Move the mic a little bit up so
sure.
you're not.
There you go.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool.
Good. All right. This is called 24601. If you get the reference,
24601.
you're the real one. But all right. Who am I? All I have is a name. Where is my identity for the sake of serenity? Search for a remedy for this crisis and calamity. Who am I? Such that I lie and try to deny just to get by, only to let out a sigh. Look in the eye, begin to cry, tears of whiskey and rye, singing this will be the day I die. Exhaling nature, smoked in green dye, to ascend high, asking why, with the help of those above the sky, a question money can't buy, hoping the answer comes easy as pie. Who am I?
Snaps for that. Why were you going through like identity crisis, you feel? Like what was the feeling and all that?
Cause like, you know,
Wait, this was what, 2017? 2016?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because 15 I graduated high school, Westmoor.
Damn, shout out Westmoor,
shout
Daly
out.
City. Today we represented Daly City. Let's go.
So I graduated high school and I went to CC, for financial reasons and for the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay,
after,
CC also community college. For folks,
community
okay.
college, yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school, so I went to CC, Skyline, and then, I don't know, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I was, and, overall, like, I was just lost. And then, I, resorted to poetry. And I was
Did you ever write poetry in high school?
No. Here you go. I was just like, you know what? Like, I like to rhyme. Like I'm a huge like fan of like hip hop and all that. And so I was just like, you know what? I'll just like make things rhyme and hopefully it'll make sense.
Cause you're also a musician. Cause I think I first saw you at an open mic that we had here in Daly City at the Liwanag Cultural Center. You came through with Ezekiel.
Yes.
Ezekiel, and there's another homie. I forgot who it was, but you were doing drums,
Yes.
right, on the cajon.
Cajon, yeah.
And then there was another homie. I think he might have been on the guitar or singing also.
That was our guitarist, Ray.
Ray. So you did a lot of music in high school, right?
Yes.
You were part of the band, were you?
Yes. So in band or in high school, I was a huge band geek. Even in middle school too. So a little backstory. So in the Philippines, I went there in 2006, right? And because my lolo died. When I was there, my lolo died, and then when I was there, like my tito, my uncle, he was a former drummer in the Philippines. He had his own band, and then he was like, hey, he had a drum set at home. He's like, hey, do you want to learn how to play? And I was just like, sure, like why not? Like, I don't know how to play any other instrument, so I was just like, oh, I'll just play the drums. And then he just taught me how to play, basic, 4/4 beat, rock beat, and I was just like,
how old were you? 2006. So you were like 7?
7,
8?
yeah, 8. So from then on, like
Damn, you young. When were you born? 1990.
97.
Damn,
so
son.
somewhat of a 90s baby.
Damn.
Late 90s.
Late 90s. How old are you now? 20.
Dosey dose. I'm 22.
Damn.
Yeah. So, he inspired me to play the drums. He taught me the basics, and middle school came, and I joined band. Percussion. So I learned the basics of like the snare drum, all that, bass drum, all the other percussion instruments. And then 7th grade I sucked. And then 8th grade, that's when I proved myself. I'm serious about it. Yeah, at the same time, like I was doing a little bit of basketball here and there because Filipinos love basketball. But I was okay. We don't go there. But yeah, basically, sports was like my second nature, but definitely music was like my first like passion.
And then so you did drums all throughout high school.
Yeah, yeah.
And band.
So middle school I was in jazz band and all that, and then when I went to high school, I joined symphonic band in Westmoor High School, and then I loved it. I love being in band. I love being in percussion, learning all these other instruments in this section. And then
too bad we didn't bring an electronic drum kit. Do you have one?
It's locked away in storage. That's why I don't. Yeah,
we'll have to have another session.
Yeah,
because I had the homie Miko Magalong here. He's also a drummer, and then we set up his little electronic drum kit over here, and then he did like a little freestyle and everything.
Yeah.
Next session.
for sure.
Because I actually, just to kind of jump around a little bit, but to stay on the topic of drumming, you ended up being the drummer for last year's Filipino Cultural Night at UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a surprise to see you drum because for the first semester, you kept it kind of low key. You didn't really talk about drumming and all that stuff. And then, if I remember right, we had a conversation that you kind of stepped away from music and drumming when you were at community college.
Yes. Because, CC, like, I wanted to redeem myself. I wanted to prove myself academically, because in high school I was just all about band, right? Band geek for all 4 years. Drumline captain.
You did drumline.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So in drumline, is it all snare,
bass
and,
drum,
bass
tenor, auxiliary? Yeah.
What was your specialty?
The snare.
Yeah. So can you do like the and then the stick flips?
Yeah, back in the day.
Okay.
Give me, I need a practice pad and yeah.
Were you a fan of the Drumline movie?
Yes. I love like watching like drumline videos on YouTube, like learning like cadences, like the pieces, and it was a great run. And then I did musical theater. I was in the pit, I was a pit drummer for musical theater all 4 years.
Oh, at Westmoor.
Yeah, so that's why I like not a lot of people know this, but like I love like musicals because I did those musicals. I did the drums.
Is there only one drummer in the pit?
Yes, and then there's like the like auxiliary, like yeah.
Also, cause shout out, Westmoor has a really good musical theater program and choir program.
And
great
band,
singers come out of Westmoor.
Exactly.
And I know some folks who've graduated and even just constantly come back to visit, support, and all that stuff. I just had a flashback because there's one girl that I was into at Skyline. She's a really good singer from Westmoor too, and then that's the reason why I know.
Definitely. Being a pit drummer for musicals, like there's a lot of genres, right? In musicals like hip hop. Like In the Heights. We did In the Heights.
You did In the Heights at the high school level?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Damn.
Back before the movie, because the movie's coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Before Hamilton and all that. And then we did like Miss Saigon, and then we did West Side Story, and then like Les Mis.
Damn, y'all hit the big ones in those 4 years.
Yeah.
Miss Saigon, Les Mis, and West Side Story.
Yeah.
Bro, you know, I gotta admit, I'm also a big fan of musical theater because my sister was so into it. And then she didn't make me do theater in high school, but like it was because she was doing it. I was like, Christian, do it also. Yeah. So I've loved Les Mis also, and I wished I could sing high so I could sing the lead,
or sing low,
or sing low for the stars, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I was. I could sing low before.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see the storytelling of musicals.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because versus classic songs, I mean, like the standard songs where it follows the verse, chorus, verse, like that. There's another level of theatrics, right, in musical theater. Yeah. And I guess it gave you another sense of appreciation.
For music in general, you know, like it exposed me to like these genres and just like, you know, these like musical terms and everything, and just like the fast-paced environment of like, you know, because like you gotta be like in sync, of course, with like the band conductor and like of course like the actors. And so like we have like our music sheet, right, our booklet, and then like you gotta like turn the page really fast and then like play, and like for example like this one scene, like I'm just like playing, right, and then like you gotta turn the page really fast, and then like, you know, because you don't have no page turner.
Yeah.
You gotta like do all these things. And,
dude,
like,
you were killing it at PCN. I gotta
you.
say, it was dope to see you, bro. Yeah. And like and everybody vibed off it. People were honestly surprised. They were like, "Damn, Marc's killing it, bro." That was good to see for you to jam with the crew and everything.
It was really scary because one, you know, going back to CC, like I didn't play the drums at all, mostly the cajon, because you know I was just into like academics, right? I just wanted to focus on academics. I was working like part-time to like support like my education, and you know, doing internship and all that, and I didn't have time for music, you know. And it's just kind of.
So take me back to that CC time. Let's get into like the CC experience. Like, why did you go into Skyline?
Yeah.
Like, what was that initial thought?
So, like, at first, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? And second, like, financial, like, it's a lot of money, you know. Universities, wherever you go, CSU, UC, private, like, a lot of money. But mostly, I didn't know what I wanted to do. My parents wanted me to do law. And there's still that like talk. Yeah,
there's that ain't ever going away, bro.
Yeah. So I was just like,
my mom still want me to be a doctor, bro.
Exactly. Filipino, or you know. But I went to Skyline, you know, and I spent 3 years there. Cause my first year I was just like kind of teeter-tottering between like, what do I want to do? Do I want to do this or that? Do I still want to pursue like law or whatever? I joined. I gotta give a shout out to. It's a learning community. You know how like how Skyline has like Kababayan and KLC.
Yeah.
I was in a learning community called First Year Experience, FYE.
Oh yeah.
Shout out FYE. Shout out to my wonderful professors. My English professor Mr. Jared Feiner, and my math professor Young Choi. Both of y'all, like, they believed in me because I didn't believe in myself. You know, like, I didn't believe in my capabilities, my, you know, everything about me. Like,
why do you think so? Is it because you didn't do well in high school?
I was very subpar in high school. I wasn't the worst in high school. I wasn't the best. Like, I just focused on like extracurriculars, like band, you know. And then like now, like trying to focus like academically, like I didn't think I was like enough academically.
But where was that shift? When did you have that shift of like, damn, I gotta focus on academics? Was it because of a talk with your parents or something, or why were you so extracurricular in high school, but then that shift into like, let me get into the academics?
I think more so like it didn't come from me, but like when my English professor, Mr. Jared Feiner, like he saw my work, because like, you know, essays, right, for English. He saw my work and he was like, yo man, like this is some serious stuff. Like, you know, you're smart.
Oh,
And I was like,
so he had like a
I was
talk
like,
with you?
Yeah,
and stuff?
yeah. Like, cause like I used to like you know, talk to him after class, cause like, you know, I got interested in like you know, his books that we were reading and everything, and his teachings, and I was just like, yo, like, damn, like you believe in me, like. Like that, like, you know, of course, like my parents believed in me and everyone
Yeah,
else,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like in my head I was just like, you know, no one believed in me, and like I didn't believe in myself, but he did, and I was just like, damn, like I can be something much more than, you know, what I was back then. And from then on, like I took like academics seriously. Like, you know, I went to like my professor's office hours, like all of them, you know, and like asking for help, you know, like just talking to them in general and like about the subject. You know, I had work, right? Like part-time, and that was stressful too. But like just that like grind, that motivation and that grit, I developed a sense of like grit during my time at CC.
Isn't it a trip how invested some professors at CC can be into your
Exactly.
education
Exactly.
and your growth?
Exactly.
Like, for some reason, I grew up with the stigma of CC being a place not to excel, really. It's just like, oh, you're just going to community college. And honestly, when I was working at Westmoor at an after-school college success class, Kapatiran, there was still a little bit of that stigma. Like, some people were like, they still look down on community college. It shifted because of some of the initiatives that were started out in Westmoor to kind of shift that, but there's still that stigma. But then once I got to CC and I've met some of the professors in comparison to once I got into like a bigger university, I'm like, damn, these professors are awesome. They're at CC because they want to teach and they enjoy teaching, and then they get invested in seeing your growth, right? It's totally different from the stigmatized notions and the stereotypes of like, oh, just going to CC as another place, like as an extended high school, like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's dope to hear that like a shift happened because of a professor's investment in you.
Yeah. And it just takes like one person. Literally, like from then on, like he was like, yo, like of course, you know, what's it called? The TA,
Teaching assistant.
and the SLC, the SI.
Supplemental instructor.
Yeah, he was like you want to be an SI for my class? I was like, sure.
Oh.
And then for 2 semesters I was an SI.
SI, and then
Yeah.
so what, you help grade papers?
No,
or-
not grade, but just like help, like, you know, like understand like difficult concepts, like hold like review sessions after class, or, you know, whenever you have time. Yeah, and just sitting in the class if you know, if they need help and everything. So, you know, big shout out, because honestly I wouldn't be here if it weren't for like his, like, you know.
So that kind of sparked your love for writing and your like
Yeah.
more investment into
Yeah.
like, or acknowledgement that you write well, things like that.
Kind of more so like yeah, that, but like more so like my drive, like my academic drive.
Okay, so you went from Skyline and then you transferred into UC Berkeley.
Yeah,
Right?
what a
That's
trip.
where I got to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right? We never really hung out before you got into Berkeley, right? Like, I don't
No.
remember.
Yeah, I just remember we just met at
that open mic,
the open
right?
mic.
And then, but I've never seen you when we overlapped for a year at Skyline. I think.
I think
But
I never.
we never ran
Yeah.
into each other because you weren't part of KLC.
No.
But you were doing the first year experience. Is that only 1 year? The first year experience?
So I don't know how. Yeah. So like it's designed for folks that are like either their first year, you know, in college, or like those coming back.
Oh, okay.
So there's no like, it's very like general, like
Oh, cool,
Yeah.
cool. And there's like a set of classes.
Yeah,
that are
yeah, set of
transferable.
classes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the system that they have
Yeah.
at Skyline.
Effective.
Where, you're taking these classes within a learning community, but then all the majority of those classes are like transferable, right, to UC and
Yeah.
all that. So you transferred into UC Berkeley for what major?
Political science.
Lawyer.
I mean, yeah. So, you know, my parents wanted me to do pre-law, and I was like, you know what, I'll just do poli-sci, you know. And then I was just like, maybe I'll go into the public policy sector, because I interned for the county, San Mateo County.
Oh yeah, for under David Canepa, right?
Yeah, District 5. Yeah. Shout out Kelly for getting me that internship. She's the homegirl.
Yeah, and then you transferred in with a few folks from Skyline. If I remember right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Is Kelly from Skyline?
Yeah.
And then there was another dude, I think. The tall dude, or is he not from?
Oh no, he's not from.
But he's a transfer too.
Yeah, he's a
if I
transfer.
remember
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you transferred in. This is 2018. School year, right? How was that transition going from, and gotta shout out your Bay Area. You went from Westmoor, then to Skyline, UC Berkeley, staying in the Bay.
Hey, I was gonna go to UCLA.
But what made you decide?
I gotta transfer weekend.
Transfer weekend, baby. Shout out Pass.
Shout out Pass. And that's where I also got to know you.
That's
and
where we saw
my
y'all.
predecessor Lorraine.
Shout out Lorraine.
Shout out Lorraine.
So transfer weekend, give context. Why don't you tell people what transfer weekend
So shameless plug, but transfer weekend is a 3-day, 2-night yield trip. So for folks that got accepted to UC Berkeley, I'm blanking out right here, to visit campus, visit Cal, under the Bridges Multicultural Coalition, to just see what Cal is about, to see people that look like us, that look similar like us and have the same similar narratives as us, and just have fun and see what Cal is like, and I'm gonna help facilitate and prepare for Bridges transfer weekend
for this year.
Yeah, because I'm also past transfer recruitment.
Yeah, so full circle
coordinator.
Man, I don't know if my memory is bad, but I'm trying to think back to that transfer weekend. This is in 2019, right? No,
18.
2018
when I participated.
Oh yeah. So this is the spring of 2018. Right, the first part of, so basically 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I remember we got y'all Jollibee,
Yes.
right? Y'all thought it was gonna be balut, right? And then we were in the, you know what I remember? This was when I was like, these fools really, you drove over there, right? And I was like, and then so they provide a hotel room. And then I was thinking, this fool really bought alcohol on their own. I was like, damn, y'all really just want to enjoy your weekend here because y'all can drive and y'all can get that stuff. And then, did we drink in the room?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No, we did.
I don't remember actually.
Yeah.
Damn, my memory's kind of funky.
We even went on an SF trip. I don't think you were there.
I don't think I went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that night I didn't go. But then I think I just helped with a lot of the on-campus tour type stuff. The one that I remember was the little breakout session on the grass, right? And then we were linking people up to little Kuya stuff. Who's your transfer?
My transfer author is Katrina.
Katrina, there you go. I remember. And then who was your little sib? During that,
Raph,
that became your sim. Oh, interesting.
Under my Kuya here.
Hey, okay, so we have the at the Kuya program.
Shout out
there. You're my adding and the line. I got the transfers
exactly.
So how was that transition? Let's go to let's break down this transition from community college to UC Berkeley.
Yeah. So community college, only child, right? My parents are like, "Oh, you're leaving," and then but I'm just I've been away from my parents for my whole life, cause a little backstory, when I was around 1, my parents left me in the Philippines.
What?
Yeah.
So
So my Lola was taking care of me, and my Lolo
until
no, just kidding. Not 1. I was
Just kidding. You said
3. Sorry, 3. I'm
So
like-
you were born here.
no, in the Philippines.
You were born in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
what
came-
the fuck?
and
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
Yeah, in Laguna, in the
Oh,
province.
and then
And I came here. So like my mom, I was born there, and then my mom left me in the Philippines with my Lola and Lolo, and she went here for 6 months to like because of like the papers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like complications with the papers.
Were your parents already citizens here?
My dad,
Your dad was.
and then like he was like petitioning my mom.
How did they meet? You know?
In the Philippines, like they were in like the public sector together.
Oh, working in
Yeah.
like public sector.
Yeah, my
Oh.
mom was in DPWH, the Department Public Works and Highways.
Oh, and then your dad was
Like he was in like government.
but he was a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. And then so your mom came, and then you were there at like 3 with your
Yeah,
Lola.
for like just like 6 months, and
Mhm.
then she came back and got me, and then we lived in San Diego, National City.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. You spent some time in San Diego,
Diego.
until
Like 10 years of my, or technically like 9, because I went back to the Philippines in 2006 because my Lolo died, right?
Yeah.
And then that's when I learned how to play the drums.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, yo, like I love the Philippines. I don't want to go back to America. So literally my mom was like, okay, so what are you going to do? Like, if you're going to stay here, you're going to have to go to school here. And I was like, all right, bet.
Oh, so you went to school in the Philippines?
Yeah, so from 2006 to 7, I spent my fifth grade there. And that's when I learned Tagalog and everything.
Oh, so
and,
you
like, the
learned it
culture.
when you were there.
Yeah.
So your parents didn't speak to you in Tagalog?
They did.
Oh,
Yeah, but I didn't like learn, I didn't know how to speak
Ah.
until like I stayed there for a year.
And then after that, you came back
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
San Diego still?
San Diego, yeah.
And then when did y'all move up to Daly City?
2008. So
For why? Why?
my parents both found a job here.
Oh. Seton?
No. yeah. Yeah. And then like from then on, like,
What middle school did you go to?
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin, and
It's
then
like, yeah.
Westmoor.
But I went to
Hey.
Westlake Elementary for the 6th grade. It's like
Oh,
hidden.
yeah. So Pipeline, Westlake, Ben Franklin, Westmoor, Skyline,
all Bay Area.
all Bay area.
You gotta rep the
Interesting.
Bay.
So you got some time in San Diego, though. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
still remember that?
Yeah. I used to go to like the baseball games, like Padres games. Football games were too expensive.
My
for
sticker
girls.
is somewhere in Seafood City there.
Oh really?
Yeah,
in National
National
City?
City,
Oh, it's like they got big. Like
They got
bigger.
big,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
big, it's
that,
big.
That plaza in
The
general.
whole plaza,
Yeah.
With the bust of Jose Rizal.
Yeah. I was like,
I was like, damn, this is really Filipino. Y'all got a fucking bust.
yeah.
of Jose
I used to
Rizal.
just walk that.
Oh, so
like,
y'all were close?
really
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
Oh.
I live like 2 blocks away. Yeah.
Okay. So you got a wide range. I did not know you were born in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And then you spent time there going to school and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then so do you think that's how you kind of got like your connection more so to like a Filipino culture when you spent
Yeah,
time there?
because National City, it's like all Filipinos and Mexicans, right? And then you move to Daly City, it's same,
Yeah.
Filipinos. So
Yeah.
but definitely, I was, as they say, like colonized.
Colonial mentality.
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Why do you say?
Like I remember, I was in San Diego, right? And then I was in the car. I kid you not, like my parents were playing like this OPM song, and then I was like, Mom, I'm an American. I was like, I'm not Filipino, and I was young, and now I'm just like, dang, like I sounded very like ignorant, but like I meant what I said back when I was a kid,
Yeah,
because it's like I grew up in America.
Yeah.
I grew up, in Western like culture, civilization, and I wasn't in touch with my culture. And this was before like I went to the Philippines in 2006.
Yeah.
But even after coming back,
Damn, you were young and
Yeah,
you were saying, I'm an American.
exactly. And even after I came back, in '06 or '07, I was still, in that like, oh, I'm an American like mentality. But
Yeah.
it wasn't really until, CC taking ethnic studies classes where like I learned like, how to decolonize myself. And I'm still in that process, but definitely I'm like much more, ahead of, than of course like when I was back.
Did you take Rod's class?
Yeah.
Ah.
Took 2 of his classes, yeah.
Yeah, the history one
History
and the sociology.
yeah. Shout out.
Shout
Just
out
all these
Rod.
shout outs, like,
Shout out Rod. Dude, that's actually one of the classes that shifted me too. Because
life-changing.
I visited his class to do a presentation about LAIA, which was the community org that I was in, and community organizing. And then he said something about how all mass movements and revolutionary movements have started from the bottom, and it was always bottom up. It was never from the top down. Change has never come from the top down.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this guy seems cool. And then I looked at the class. I was like, this is a Filipino class?
Yeah.
And then coming from a spot in LA where there's not a lot of Filipinos, and I don't remember any form of ethnic studies around me, even if the whole community was fucking ethnic, right? A lot of Latinos, Chinese, Vietnamese, right? But there was never these conversations about ethnic studies, right? And so when I saw that, I was like, damn, I want to take this class. And I wasn't even planning on finishing a degree or nothing. The first semester I went to Skyline, I was just like, let me take the Filipino classes.
Exactly.
It was just Rod's class, and I think another one was being taught by Paul Bollock, another teacher, and then Liza's class.
Liza.
And it was all the Filipino ones. And then in those classes, I was like, damn, I got to finish my school and do shit because of the books that were in Rod's class,
like
right?
From Dr. Lenny Strobel.
Yes, that's the book that shifted it,
I
bro.
I still have that book. And then E.J.R. David, of course.
Yes.
And then Dr. Mabalan, R.I.P. And yeah, like, really changed my life. In terms of like how I perceive like my identity as, a Filipino American, and just like myself, and like so much history and so much like critical, like, issues that, from the Philippines that they face, and from like the issues that we face here. I learned a lot, and I owe it a lot to Rod too. Yeah.
How did that shift your experience or goals in academia, right?
Yeah.
With now you're going into political science, going into Berkeley because you had it in CC, and then this idea of like go into law. But did it shift you in any way?
Yes. So, my parents wanted me to do law, right? And I was just like, all right, maybe I'll be a brown lawyer, help those in need, fuck corporations, but I was just like, man, like, I don't know if law's for me, you just kind of get the feeling, sometimes like something's not just for you.
Yeah.
And then maybe I was just like, all right, maybe I'll go in like the public sector, do some policy work, like probably go into education, or whatever. But then I was just like, 9-to-5 job sitting down, like, I don't know. And then big reveal, like, I was just like, I had this idea. I was like, you know what? I can change the world somehow else. I can change the world not by being a lawyer, not by like doing policy work, or maybe I can change the world by like writing. And so I was just like, what am I gonna do? So like late spring semester, right? Last spring semester, 2018, I was like, what if I do like journalism? I was like, that's like writing. I was like, oh yeah, like, just, write stories that tell the truth, nothing but the truth, right? And like hopefully tell stories about like coming from like, people like us, from their perspectives and everything. And so I looked into Berkeley's like journalism program, and they don't have a major, and so I was like, damn, but they have a minor offered in the summer, and I was like, do I really want to like, you know, spend my summer at Berkeley and spend all this money, you know? And I was like, you know what? You're only here for 2 years. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best things I've ever done in my whole life, was take the whole summer minor, 5 classes, you know, spent a lot of money, but it was worth it. And the memories that I made over the summer, if you know, you know. That's all I gotta know. But summer was such a trip. Was one of the most. I grew so much as a person. Like academically, of course, and like you know, personally, just the growth.
And so now you're really locked into pursuing journalism.
Yeah, that was like a yeah. So I did the minor, right, and then, you know, classes can only take you, you know, so far, right? So you gotta like apply it, right? So I was just like, we have a newspaper, the Daily Californian,
Daly City, baby.
DC. It all comes full circle. It all comes full circle. So you know, I was like, I'll apply. You know, like just if you don't get in, then you don't get in. But if you do, you do. So I applied. The process was really hard. It was like an interview and then like a test and then
a test.
Yeah, like a news test.
A news test? What are they asking in the news test?
It's like I don't know if I can like really like, you know, because you know, for future applicants, you know, but to prepare you for like real life journalism, to like, you know, what it's like to be a journalist, you know, in like a real life situation. So like they test you on that. But I got in as a news reporter. So man, being a journalist is hard work.
Really?
It takes up so much of your time. So like my first semester, I was just a general assignment reporter, right? So my editors give me like, you know, assignments, you know, like the day before, right? And then so you get the assignment, whatever it is, and then right then and there, once they send like your assignment, you gotta like contact your sources ASAP. You know, the people that you want to be in your story. So like you have to like, you know, like they provide you like your sources, but sometimes you got to go like above and beyond. You know.
You said they give you this story the day it's before it's due?
The night before. The night before.
Yeah,
your work day.
Submit it.
So you have like work days, like the day that you work on your article. So they send it the night before.
Oh.
Yeah, and so like once they send it, you gotta like send emails, you know, to your sources and everything, so like they can like get back to you for either as like for like an interview or for a call or email or whatever. And then like your work day, which is the next day, that's when, you know, all systems go.
And then when is it due that during that work day? 5 p.m.
So like
what time do they send you the assignment the night before?
Usually like 9 p.m. like 7, 8, 9.
Damn,
yeah.
This sounds like a good job for procrastinators because they're good at doing it last minute. Damn, that's hella last minute.
It's a lot of stories though. It's you know, because of course like the city of Berkeley is big and the university is big, right? And there's so much stories to write about and so much to, you know, distribute to other reporters. So, and they're very busy. Like I gotta give props to my editors because like it's a really being a journalist is really hard. It's very time consuming because like you start your day, you know, you wake up early, you know, 8, 9, you start, right? And mind you, we're students too, so we have classes. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, you'll have to work around your schedule. You know, you gotta, you know, everything's all about time management. You know, you hopefully your sources get back to you like saying, oh, I'm available at this time to call or whatever. But sometimes you're like, oh, I have class at that time, so can you call at this time? Or like, you know, they send an email. It's just talking to sources is just something else, and getting your sources is something else. Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, just that itself is such a challenging task. At the same time, juggling like, you know, your schoolwork, going to class, and or if you have like meetings to go to, right, or yourself to attend to, right? Like sometimes like I forget to eat. or I forget to like drink water or something, or like I'm just so focused on like the story. Because one thing I have to take out from like journalism is like once you get your story, or once you have a story, like you're consumed by it. Like you're just like, you want to produce, you know, the best possible story out there, and like you want to get the best, you know, sources, you know, quality over quantity, you know. You want to get like the best quotes, and you want to ask like, you know, the questions that you know you want them to answer, and like it consumes you. Like sometimes, and this goes for all the, like, because I talk to like multiple people in the newsroom, and it's all the same sentiment. Like in class, like sometimes we're working on a story in class, because you know our deadline's at 5, right? 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Like last semester, like I had a class from 4 to 5:30.
So you had to get it in during class.
Yeah, and sometimes like I don't even go to class.
Oh my God, that does not sound good.
It's because you're so like just so consumed in the story, and
then
like,
you enjoy the process.
yeah, like at the end of the day, when so you know your story's done by 5, and then like your edit, you send you're always in constant like text with your editor. Like they ask you like, oh, did this person like reach back to you, or did you call this person? How's the story going? Like always updates. And of course,
how many
like,
editors are there in DC?
so there's like 3 assistant editors, and then 2 main ones. The one university editor and one like Berkeley, and then there's like the editor in chief and all that. So I get edited by like the 5 of them, the 3 assistant and the 2 editors. But yeah, like, and you know they're very like, you know, like punctual with everything, and they have to, because like when one person is late, the whole paper is late. And they can't, and, you know, as much as you want to like extend, or like, you know, or you feel bad like not having your story done in time, like you got to understand, like, you know, it's like, you know, one person falls, we all fall.
Have you ever been late with a story?
No.
Interesting. And then so that was your first semester, but now I think you've gotten a position.
Yeah, I got promoted to a lead beat reporter. So a beat reporter is you get specialization in like one particular topic. So like you can specialize in like local government, like going to city council meetings, or like local businesses, whatever, or the school. So my beat is race and diversity. You know, I get to form like long-term stories of, you know, about, you know, marginalized, you know, the issues that marginalized communities face in the city, within the city of Berkeley, and within the university. So for example, if y'all don't know, so last year, a big inspiration, and I mentor, as I say, Francesca Munsai.
She did a great piece.
And you were in it. I read it. Yeah, she interviewed you.
Yep.
But definitely she's inspiration for why I wanted to take that beat, because she was also in that beat. She was one that
when you're in that beat, do you have a certain interval of how many pieces you have to do a week or a month? Like
so the procedure is, so I do like until we get like the new hires, the new GA writers, in the beginning I do 2 like daily stories.
2 daily?
Yeah.
Every day?
So 2 dailies, like 2 a week.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then
2 a week.
And then 1 day to focus on like your long-term like big story.
A week.
Yeah. So 3 days. Yeah.
So
and then
so you have 3 work days.
3 work days.
And then 2 of them are the like 5 p.m. deadline.
Yeah.
types.
And then 1 is
a long term.
Yeah. But then until we hire the GAs, the new GAs, until we get all of them, then I'm gonna just do 1 daily, and then 2 work days to do my long-term story.
And then how many weeks do you have for a long-term piece?
Until I get it done. And yeah, I pitched to my editor. I was like, yo, I wanna write about like, you know, like I know Francesca wrote, she started off with, you know, with that story, but I want
Filipino studies.
I wanna like continue it or end it, you know, like as like like kind of like my graduating, you know, like piece, kind of like what she did. Yeah,
I know you're graduating this year, bro.
scary.
Isn't it quick?
I feel like I just got here like a month ago.
Dude, it's like you only have like 5 months left, basically, out and closing off your UC Berkeley experience, man.
It's as a transfer. It's like that's why I get it. Like you want to do everything.
Yeah.
Because you only have 2 years or 3. You know, depending.
Let's go into that. How was your experience in general as a transfer? Right. What was like coming into the space? What's your general reaction?
So
like that?
You know, I got a head start because of course like transfer weekend, right? I made like dope friends, met my and you know I met like my best friends that I have right now, my roommates. And
Transfer Trap House, shout out.
But definitely you know, going into Cal, like I already had friends, right? And then as a transfer, like I had this mentality. I was like, you know, just join all these things, you know, do all these things because you're only here for 2 years, 2 or 3 years or more. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, like since I was in transfer weekend, like I'll just do pass. So I interned for you, transfer retention, fall 2018.
2018, yes, you did.
Transfer retreat.
Really there fun. You go.
That was really fun. And then you know, just doing pass, and then I joined the fraternity, Alpha Phi Omega.
Bro.
Service is a service organization. I did my time there, made really good friends. And then so spring semester, that's when I applied to be on Pass 35 staff for transfer recruitment. Oh, and spring semester, I was also intern for transfer recruitment.
Were there any initial struggles what was the challenging part as a transfer at first? Like coming into a space, because at least for me, I remember just kind of being intimidated by first the kind of reputation of Cal of the academic rigor, but also kind of being intimidated that I'm jumping into a space as a third year in comparison to kind of other third years who've gotten somewhat of a head start, at least within the Berkeley context. Like, they know what the resources are. Exactly. They've got their social networks. They've got the connections, and they know what's going on already while I'm jumping in there. Yeah. What was it like for you? Was it similar?
Definitely, yeah. It was challenging, but definitely I used my resources and like I did my homework. So like I, searched up online, just anything that I needed help with, because I know that it's 50-50, like 50% like help is there, but 50% like I have to do my own part. But definitely like, pass, my friends, big help, and just like, with the transition, because like I made really good friends, and like, academically, like I made friends there too, that, we all did like, these like study guides together, study groups, sessions and everything.
You had a good apartment too. You were in the apartments over at
Unit 2.
Oh, what's the WADA?
It's nice, huh?
It's nice.
Dude, nice. The double is huge.
Yeah,
oh my god,
it's nice.
Yeah.
I got jealous.
Yeah.
I had a good spot though. Clark Kerr is good. Their rooms are big.
It's too far.
It's far. Yeah. It's far. I had good biking though. I think my fitness was good that first year though, because I was biking all the time.
Yeah.
But you had that good spot, right? And so that helped you transition in terms of like being on campus, and you got the support system.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm very like, grateful that I had like, these people around me to like, guide me. Cause
would you come home? Would you come back Daly City?
I tell this to everyone. It's just like, it's a BART right away. Without traffic, it's like 30 minutes away. Yet I don't go home. I'm the only child. My parents miss me so much.
Oh my god.
My mom's like, you only come home when like you need something.
Oh my god.
I'm like, I'm sorry, Mom.
Call him out, Tita. Call him out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like I want to go home, but it's just like when you're at Berkeley, like you're just so tired, right? Monday to Friday. Yeah. and then like something might be going on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Sunday you're just tired.
Yeah.
And then same process. It's just
Same
like,
process.
I want to go home. I do, but it's just, I'm so tired.
It's hard. It's like I remember there were moments where, especially when you're in a coordinator position in these orgs and things, the weekends even get booked out.
Exactly.
Just for events, retreats, things like that. I remember a moment, I think it was the beginning of a spring semester, where it was booked out months in advance. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Am I some busy motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like, why is it all like booked like that?
Yeah.
And it's not even all leisure.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think there is in Berkeley a bubble of productivity.
Exactly.
That you're kind of expected to live out because of the competitiveness of it.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's almost a badge of honor for some people to be like, look how full my Google Calendar is, right?
Exactly.
I don't think it's the best way.
Exactly.
It's the healthiest way.
And you feel bad that like you're like, for example, like you're not doing something. I'm just like, oh, I should be doing something, but like rest is productivity itself.
Yes.
And like it's hard to think that way because like, oh, I have to read this and then or I have to do this.
Yes,
I have to like do like emails or whatever. Like it's like you're never just in a constant like just state of rest.
Yes.
You're always in a constant state of like moving.
Yes.
Like, you know.
Because it's like, look how nice my Google Calendar is. Look at the colors.
Exactly.
Because it's like kind of a low-key way of showing how much you're doing, right? And then it's, I mean, not everyone's like that, but it's kind of become normalized on a larger kind of culture for you to be on that level, right? And the competitiveness of it all.
And like when I try to like, you know, like schedule like hangouts with friends, like, and they're like, oh, like let's switch Google calendars and whatever. Like give me your Google calendar, and then like I look at their Google calendar, and there's blocks, Monday to like Sunday, like the whole 7 days.
Yeah.
And then like they're like only available for like 1 hour on like one day. And I'm like,
what are you doing, fam?
Exactly. Like, is there a block for eating for lunch or I don't like, you know? And it's crazy because like like. As I said earlier, like I forget to eat. Sometimes I forget to even drink water or just forget to breathe. You know, it's just like we all forget to breathe sometimes.
Because you're running and running and
exactly.
running.
And like stuff is like running in your mind too. And just like.
What's a trip is I've never had issues with like anxiety or nothing until I went to Berkeley. And then I had that one like panic attack. I was like, what is going on? I wasn't even high or nothing. I haven't smoked weed. I was not doing nothing. And then my mind just raced and just blanked out in class, and then I started being over analytical about my own thoughts, and then my heart was racing and I had to get up, leave class, and like drink water. And then it was such a weird kind of break, and it was once I reflected on it, it was the realization that I was not doing the things of self-care that I usually do, like journal or even sleep, like proper sleep, because I'm like next. Like I didn't have a time to slow down, right? And then I've had conversations with people where they say that just being in that environment, they forget to, like you were saying, take a breath, right? Because of the overall culture of like you gotta drive and push, right? Because you're always in constant comparison,
exactly,
like to other people, even if you're there, your homies, and it's not like malicious, but it's still like, oh, I gotta also have my internship, I gotta also like be lining up my resume in this way, like to be up on par, right? And
it's crazy because like that's like Berkeley culture, or like not just Berkeley culture, but it's like, you know, when you're in an elite, you know, institution like Berkeley, like that stuff happens. And when you go outside of that bubble, there's so much more important things in the world. Like, I'm serious. Like, people are here just to like support their family, like put some food on the table. They're not worrying about like, oh, my next Tesla or something. like it's crazy. Like, there's more important things out there in the world. Yes, grades and all that, and doing well in school, they're very much important, very much.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just there's so much more. Yeah, more important things, like more like just school. Berkeley school is just not everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you get out, like you definitely realize that when you get out of that Berkeley bubble.
Yeah, man, it is a bubble. It's crazy. Like, it's people talk about the bubble when you're in the bubble. It's like, right? We always say that, oh, we're in the Berkeley bubble.
Yeah.
Like that. But then it's so different, like, leaving, especially at least after graduating and then, like, coming back here to Daly City and then actually being out and, like, talking to other professionals who are just out, like the teachers I know, or working full-time in different avenues, different industries. It's a different real-life energy that you're like, oh, it's not that kind of there's a manufactured system kind of at Berkeley. Like, you're part of the system.
Exactly.
You're part of the mechanisms. And then there's certain expectations for you to kind of demonstrate your participation in the system, such as, well, how's your LinkedIn, right? What's your intern? What are you doing? What's your plan afterwards? What are you doing after graduation? And then to have the answer, like, already prepared. And then what's fucked up is that sometimes when I'm in there, I fall into that system by asking those questions, like, so what are you doing after graduation? Right? I become a part of the system in terms of propagating that mentality, right? So it's crazy that you're in that bubble when you're in it, and then you don't really, like, kind of realize to step out of it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's understandable though,
Yeah.
right? I'm not dissing.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like that's the environment.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Of a place where everybody is like, oh, #1 public university, right? And so even if you sometimes say that jokingly, you also attach it to some form of identity,
Exactly.
right? Because people used to say it for memes, all right, and then people also say it for, like, yes, we're
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
institution,
Yeah.
and then it kind of continues that
Yeah.
expectation on yourself.
Yeah, and not gonna lie, like, when I go home, like, all I do is rep my gear.
Yeah,
like, 'cause you're proud to be.
You're proud
in such
of it, yeah.
But at the same time, like, you're proud. Like, it's a privilege to be in this university, because again, as everyone says, like, it's not this university. It's not made for us, right? It's a privilege to be in these spaces. It's a privilege to, learn from these, distinguished professors that are all white. But anyway, but it's a privilege in general to receive an education, to be in that university, and you just gotta make the most out of it by just being you and just working hard, like, on yourself, and just, like, believing in yourself despite all, like, these factors, like, the competitiveness, like, just at the end of the day, if you, like, do you, and you kind of have a sense of, like, what you want to do after, even though it's not a lot, like, you're gonna, like, go far. Like, definitely imposter syndrome, right?
Did you feel that when you got in there?
Yeah, I'm just like, I was like, when I got my acceptance letter, I was like, wait, is this the right Marc Escobar? Like, like, at the same time when I was there too, I was just like, do I belong here? Like, am I really enough for this university? Like, am I smart enough? Am I good enough? Am I, like, strong enough to, go through all these, struggles that we all face as, like, students? And it's hard, like, as a transfer too, like, same thing, like, it's hard, like, it's a struggle. Like, Berkeley, again, it's no joke. Any university is no joke.
And then this dude did a slight flex by posting his summer grades on his IG with that A. Damn, slight flex.
Nah, if journalism had a major, then I'd do everything all over again.
Did you post that on your Finsta, or was that your main? Did you post it on the main?
It was like my close friends.
Oh, it was a story.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't want to put it out to the whole public.
But now we did.
Thanks, Chris.
Hey, you gotta embrace your successes,
Hey.
bro. Embrace it, man. How did you get over that imposter syndrome, or if you've gotten over it, or what have you done to kind of mitigate that? What has helped?
I still have, to some degree of imposter syndrome, but definitely not as much as before. Definitely, like the help of like my friends and that like are also like in my major too.
Oh, okay.
That like know what's up with like with our major and like and just like the people around me, they're just like, yo, like we're all doing our own stuff, right? We're all pursuing different things, and like this is your life, this is you, and like you're unique. You're your own person, definitely, and you have your own goals and aspirations, and you just gotta stick to being you. And just doing you, and again like working hard for yourself and for the people you care about. Like you're gonna go far, even with like this thing that's saying like, oh, you don't belong here, because that acceptance letter is like real. Admission saw you, they read you. they read your app, and they're just like, yo, like they want you here. Like it's no joke that like people like us are at universities at like Berkeley or whatever.
You know what was a trip and somewhat of a bummer was that I only really started feeling at home like on campus my second year, or deep into my second year, almost like
sure.
Almost to the middle of the second year, when I've already been in enough classes that I see hella people around campus. Hey.
Yeah.
I go into different spaces and I'm like, oh, you're kind of vibing, and you know where your relaxing space is, where you'll study, things like that, and you know where your circles of support are, right? But then I was happy I got to that point, but then also sad that I'm like, oh shit, I'm leaving in like less than a semester, right? And then to think that, I think that's what kind of got me to analyze also the differences in terms of being a 4-year student and a transfer, right? Not to talk shit on the 4 years, right? And there's a lot of 4 years who support transfers, right? But also just to compare the experience of if I'm able to get this only on my like second year-ish, like imagine being able to get that and then still having 2.5 more years to consistently build that network of support, to consistently build the connections, and take advantage of the resources on campus that are sometimes only available while you're on campus, right? Like there's a bunch of scholarships or competitions that are only available as a student, right? And so I think that's why I'm very invested in talking about the transfer experience, to propagate the ideas and the lessons that we learned, so that other transfers may be able to maximize their time, and to also destigmatize the pipeline from community college, but also get those folks from community college into the top universities and make the most out of it too. Right, because it's a complicated path to navigate, that you only learn lessons once you go through it, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm graduating. Like you only have 5 months left, bro.
But yeah, I definitely share the same sentiment. Like, your first year as a transfer is like that, like test run kind of year, kind of like you're learning everything. You're like making all these friends and everything to see like who really like bucks with you, right?
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
And then fall semester, like you're like a lost fish, lost puppy, and then spring semester, your first year is like okay, kind of
Yeah.
But definitely, as you said, like the second year, that's when you're like like you made your friends, hopefully, and then like you're kind of like established, you kind of you know the campus well, where the resources are at, and then that's where you're like all systems go, like
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still hard because it's like you only had that like 1 year to kind of like test everything out,
Yeah.
and then now like you're graduating in that year.
Yeah.
This second year. So.
And then that last year too is hella busy because you've applied for all the positions that you could only apply to once you're inside on campus, right? So now you're all in these big positions and you're like, what the fuck? Oh shit. Instead of waiting, like, some people have like, oh, I'll do that this year, or I'll do that my junior year, or I'll do that my senior year, like that, like spacing it out. Here you gotta like ram it all in, right? To work study or different positions, leadership things, just to end it off strong. Yeah. Right. But that's part of the process, man. That's part of the process to learn. That's where I learned time management. Yeah. Bro. But I think after I had days that were full from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., right? Just for multiple positions, meeting after meeting. Dude, Berkeley is like meeting land, bro. It's like
when to meet
and like an hour meeting and just an hour meeting so you can have another hour meeting with another person.
Exactly.
Right? So and it's doable because you're on campus, you just go to the next location, but you don't realize how like stressful that is kind of to the mind, because here, once you're back out, at least for Daly City here, I schedule out the meetings and I can do like a 2-hour meeting, but then that's really a 3 to 4 hour because of the transition time. You gotta drive to like the cafe here. There you're like, all right, 5 p.m. to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, and then maybe 8 to 8:30 is the lunch, and then fucking and then dude, people really be putting meetings like 10 to 11 sometimes, because that's the only time they can meet. So it's a trip, and it's definitely not sustainable. But I think that's why once I graduated, there was a moment of like, bruh, I'ma just fucking Netflix all fucking day. This is what I barely watched any Netflix when I was at school, man. Same. Because there's like not that much time. You gotta like multitask by watching Netflix while you're at the cafeteria,
or when you're eating too.
Yep.
Yeah, but I was told like, when you're on your break, right, lunch, dinner, whatever, like just eat.
Yes.
Just eat and watch, and don't do any other stuff, because that's the only time you can do that.
The only time you can eat, right? Yep.
And sometimes we're just like, damn, like, but I have to, but
You know what? I actually, now thinking about it, cherished the time from walking from my dorm to the cafeteria. Just those were like the quiet times of like, I'll just put on my headphones, put a podcast on, and I'm just walking. I'm not in a meeting or nothing, and then I'll go eat, and I'll just like go into my little shell, like no one talk to me while I eat. Right? Let me just get this done, because then the day ahead is just next, and next.
And then you feel like, if you don't do this, you're like going to be behind.
Yes.
And the cycle repeats.
But at least for me, I remember what I did like were the extracurriculars that were not necessarily academic or pro dev, right? The one I can think of is PCN, right? PCN, like even just the dance stuff. I remember enjoying it. Enjoying it a lot, and appreciating that I was able to participate in something it's definitely not on any of my resumes, right? Because it's like, it's more for the fun and the community, and for the culture of it, too, and for the culture, right? And it took up a good amount of time, right? Like, and like nighttime practices. I'm like, oh fuck, it's cold too, and we're outside. But I think there's something about those that it was a space just to not be in that fucking Berkeley pro dev academic type of environment or vibe, right? And I think those are important, right?
PCN was fun, and like, you were in it, of course, and then like Raph, and like it was fun. Like just being able to see like the dances, modern, cultural, jazz, and all that, and like, choir and like band, like playing, okay, I don't know if I told people, but like I haven't touched a drum set in like a year.
Since PCN?
No, like before PCN, before they gave me the opportunity. Like I was just playing like the cajon and stuff, and like it was like, I was like, okay, this is a big thing. Like, you're trusting me. Like, damn. Like, I haven't played in like a year and more, and then like I'm just gonna get into the groove of things. Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
And like it's nice to hear that like I did pretty okay, good, because like I really got scared. Like I was just like, yo, like I haven't played in so long.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, do I still have rhythm? Do I still have the do I still have like that beat? What if I mess up like a fill or something? Or just it was very like nice to play again. To just like because when you're in the groove, right, as a musician, you just like close your eyes, right, and you just like play. Like for me, like when I play the drums and like I'm in a groove or like I'm feeling it, like I just like close my eyes. And just like play, just like and then like when you're in sync with like your guitarist or whatever, like, and everyone's in sync, like it's just all like it's all like it's great.
Is it therapeutic for you?
Yeah. Not by hitting stuff, but
Stupid.
yeah. But it's very because again, like academics is super stressful. Life is just stressful. But like when you play an instrument, especially like growing up as a kid, that was my passion. Middle school, high school.
Why do you think it became your? Why did you get drawn to it?
Because my dad sucks at teaching the guitar.
What the fuck?
I remember.
Really?
I'm sorry, Dad.
Oh my God. Like, does he play the guitar?
Yeah, no, he was really good. No, back
but he's
in the day,
bad
he was
at teaching. Why?
I would cry.
What? Why was he hard
like,
on you?
On the fourth string, on the second string. I'm just like,
oh my God.
where's my sticks?
Oh.
Yeah, so
Dude, honestly, just on a side tangent, I think it's really hard for a parent to teach their kids stuff because shout out to my homie at the jiu-jitsu gym, right? I can see the struggle. Like he's good with other kids, but then sometimes when he works with his kid, they listen. But then sometimes if the kid like talks back, it kind of like triggers and my homie kind of like starts getting hey like that, and it's so interesting to see the dynamic of a parent and a kid in a teaching position versus when I see them teaching other people's kids. Right, they're so patient with another person's kid, right? And like very, hey, you do this, and then but when it's their kid, it's like all the patterns like come back out, right? Either parent-child patterns or the kid talking back, and like the expectations of all that. So I was like, I understand. I understand. So he wasn't that good at teaching you guitar,
or maybe I'm just not meant to play guitar. I'm just meant to just hold the sticks and just bang.
So you like gravitated towards the piano. I mean the drums.
Yeah, all because of my tito, my uncle.
That's cool. That's interesting.
And I just fell in love with it. Like there's some days I'm just like, what if I took music seriously? Because I had a band. What if like my band and I like just did all these gigs and stuff, and I never went to school to CC and everything. Now go to Berkeley, just like be a drummer, a musician, and then there's like these like for example like these fun like for example like these questions like, oh, what's your dream job? I put a touring drummer or like a musical drummer,
Dude,
pit drummer.
People, you could still pursue or maintain your drums, your music. Like my sister, she's a lawyer, full-time, professional, and her husband is also working full-time, designer in a tech company. And then they both have a band and they perform consistently. They actually performed at their wedding and like during the reception, it was like a whole mini concert of them, and they do it amongst their friends, and they'll have like practice sessions, and they'll have a gig. They had one time like a gig at Google, like for some mini event like that. So it's definitely possible to still maintain your love and participation in an instrument, even if you're working full time. And all.
Definitely. Big shout out to PCN.
Are you doing it this year?
If they let me, if they need a drummer. But definitely, because like it was so like I loved every single aspect of PCN, like being in band and just playing the drums, just getting to be in the groove of things. And the
shout out to the power couple, Nilbert and Gabby.
Oh, they're great. Oh, yeah. Like everyone in band music's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Everybody in band, they brought it, man. I'm like, damn. And some of these people are low key, like Filipino John Mayer. I was like, what the fuck?
I remember during our practices, and then like we were having just like a jam session, right? During Hell Week or something, and then like we were just all jamming, and then like Justin was just playing like this like riff like on and on. I was just like, all right, I'm just like, again, I close my eyes, I'm just like playing, it's just like a nice like and then we're just like, yo, this sounds really good, and then we're just like, all right, let's play it for the pre-show. And so we played it for the band pre-show.
Oh, so it was just a jam?
Yeah, and then
that you turned into like a track and everything?
For the pre-show, yeah.
Damn. See, those are beautiful moments where like a freestyle session leads somewhere. I really feel it's like connecting to the source on some level where like you're not... You've done the work to be a good musician, but then you're not actively like thinking about like which strike and like that. So it's not hyper technical, right? But then you have the underlying base foundational skills, and then you're just tapping into another source of inspiration and the groove. Like you're with each other, like that. And those are dope to see. Those are dope to see.
And for that to happen, like you have to be in the same wavelength, and to be in the same wavelength, you gotta have trust. So like trust in each other, trust that you'll be in the same same tempos.
That's another dynamic that I don't really understand because I don't play in a band or anything. Interesting.
Because you really play off like everyone. So for example, in like a normal traditional like band setting, right? Like for example, like take my rock band back in high school, you play in with like, of course, like the rhythm guitar, right? They establish like the rhythm, and then like the bass guitar, because your bass drum sometimes is like in par with like how the bass drummer or bass guitarist is playing, and of course like the lead singer. So like everyone has to be in sync, and of course that takes practice and just like not just practice but like just chemistry too, like for everything. Like you gotta develop like some form of chemistry with like your bandmates, and that like translates to like giving like a spectacular performance. Like for PCN, we were all in the same wavelength. I think we doubled like the amount of like musicians, right? Like I remember because I heard like back then, like band was like not that big. Now we have like strings.
There's a lot of strings.
The strings were amazing.
It was violin and all.
Crazy.
Like, what the heck is this?
And then we got like ukes. And we got like hella guitars. It's crazy.
Full on band.
And then like we hopefully that inspired other people to like join PCN band or
this next
year.
Okay, I have to watch. I'm gonna visit. I'm gonna watch.
If they need a drummer, where to find me.
The only bummer is that as a band musician, you can't do any of the dances like that because they don't allow like the stage itself, the venue itself does not allow you to go up and down like that during the singing.
I don't dance.
No, I know a lot of people. There are other people I know that. No, I know you were thinking of it.
No,
you were thinking of joining the dance that one time, and then you just can't go up and down like that. And I think Justin wanted to. Yeah, Justin wanted to do the dance once, and then he could, and then the stage, Zellerbach, is that?
Yeah,
Zellerbach Hall said you can't go up and down from the pit. And all that. I was like, okay.
I have the luxury of just sitting down.
I know. I think that's why you
like,
enjoy it.
While all of y'all are just dancing and like sweating, I'm just like,
Do you get to watch the show? Do you get a good view?
So the pit, right? I was on the side, like I was like on the back, right? But then I saw. Yeah. But I'm just to the side. It was great. Yeah.
PCN, it's a good experience, and it's cool to see that PCN, Filipino Cultural Night, happens in hella universities, right? And it's become a thing. It's become almost like a what's that word? It's like a ceremony.
It's like a rite of passage.
Rite of passage. There you go.
For every
a rite of passage for FilAm students, right? To go participate in.
Definitely, I was like, I'm not graduating until I do PCN, and I did.
I think that was me too. That was me too, and I think that was one of my not disappointment, but many regret that I wasn't able to do it at Skyline, right? I only helped with like the script ones like that, but I just wasn't able to put in the time to do it at Skyline.
It was good.
It was good.
I watched.
Good.
Yeah.
Because Skyline, theirs is the only one of the only CCs that does a PCN. That's a big thing. And it's been going on for like 10 years. Plus, it's been a minute since they've been doing it. So. Damn, bro, much like props to Skyline to be able to do that as a 2-year.
As a 2-year,
right? Because every spot else, 4-year, they have the pipeline.
Because you know how much money we put into
and time and the capacity of people. You need a good amount of people to do a wide range of things, marketing and just getting people like all on the same page and stuff like that. It's a challenge, but there's a lot of growth in there too. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And there's a drama every year. There's drama. I'm usually like out of the drama. At least that's what I'll say. Like when I was at Cal, I did not get involved in that much drama. There's some moments, but I was usually for the most part like an observer of the drama and a mediator. I was like, oh shit, people are mad. Let me talk to you, like, and be like like kind of mediate some of the issues going on, right?
I mean, we're like adults, young adults, and
but then there's also the Filipino community drama. There's another level. I forgot what there was a phrase that we used to call it. Like I forgot, but specifically the pill community stuff. The chismis, bro. The chismis is real.
It's in our blood. The chismis.
The chismis.
Chismoso, chismosa.
I wanted to write an article. Maybe you could do it as a fucking chismis is killing the Filipino American community, bro. That's my thesis. Because that's my call out to that's my call in to Berkeley, to other spaces too, not just Berkeley though, because I've been in FilAm communities here in this side, Daly City, San Francisco. Even if it's part of our culture, I know we said that like half jokingly. It's destructive on some level because there's like drama that happens on chismis rather than you actually telling people to their face, or not in a confrontational way, but like addressing it like to their face, like, hey, this is the issue, let's hash this out, right? And some of that does not happen because of chismis, right? But I'll give merit is because a lot of people are young too. They're like, it takes some time to develop the skills of addressing things to people's face,
and it's also part of like just how our community is. It's just like, or how the size of our community. 3%.
Yes.
And
what do you think that affects us in terms of the not addressing things, or that what does the size do?
Like it's like a barangay, it's like you know people, like you might like like their face or their name, and you just know like of people, and word just spreads, man. Sometimes like you hear stuff and you're just like, damn, like they came from that, like what, like sometimes they, I don't know.
Is it a good thing, a bad thing with the size?
No, everything, like, good and bad.
Okay. You know what I'll say? Good chismis, right? Right when I got to Cal that first year, the homie was telling people all about my podcast and stuff. I was like, damn, you know about that? Like, and then he'd be watching it at shout out Brandon Bassa, like he would play it on their TV and hype me up. Like I don't even know him, and then other people would talk to me about the podcast, about that. So I'll say that's like the good chismis in a way, right? Because and having that community small, and there's that connection of like, oh kuya, like, and this and that, right? And if there's a need on some case and to address something, or there's a need in the community, you can somewhat find that support, right?
Yeah.
So I'll admit, maybe the good sometimes comes with the bad, right? And then it's a process to improve on it, right?
Like, or like definitely just like whatever happens to like someone in our community, in the community, whatever you big or small, like at least it's gonna spread somehow, some way.
You know, one of the homegirls, their car was broken into, and then the community did like a secret GoFundMe, secret like Venmo fundraiser to help cover the cost, hundreds of bucks, like to donate to the homegirl whose car was broken into, right? And that was all just the PIL community, the Filipino community, just doing that, right? So that's one aspect, right? And I know people like even if you don't know them, you're still supportive of them just because you see them in that same circle, in that same community, like that. So that's the good part of it too.
Yeah, and that's why it's just like important to just, again, like I keep on saying, just do you, just do, like when you're yourself, like you track like, you know, the people that are like that fuck with you, that like are genuine.
That's true.
When you be your true like authentic self, and
that's true.
And it's crazy because like I was like lost at Cal. Like I was sometimes like I was trying to be this person, or I was trying to be this person. Like I couldn't, like for example, like Daly City me can be Berkeley me.
What do you mean?
Just like the way like I act, the way I talk, my personality.
It's like you're code switching.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Why do you think?
Like I don't know. It's just like I just have to do it. Like I can't. Like I have to put like on like a
professional.
Like a professional persona.
I love how you were like yeah.
Like I can't like I can't be like my really really like goofy self like when I'm back at home.
Ratchet self. That's what you mean.
Like goofy. Like stupid. Like I can't be like.
Why do you feel you can't be like that in Berkeley?
I don't know. Like cause I feel like people are watching. Like yeah. Like yeah.
I think that is one of the downsides of a small community, right? For context, who may not be from Berkeley, like the Filipino community at Berkeley is like 3% of the whole campus, right? And that's something that people have latched on as a number. Some people who have graduated actually critique our kind of, they've called it like the obsession over that number, that we're hyper aware of that number. But then the effects of having a small community is that, like what you said, everybody kind of knows or is watching, and that contributes to a certain amount of social pressure to conform, to be cool, to not rock the boat in a way, not to kind of be someone popular or be accepted by the group, right?
Like you're
because
conforming.
you're conforming because it's such a small community. That's why, to be transparent, I know people who've said they wanted to take a step back step out of the community and not participate in any of the Filipino orgs or even the spaces. Maybe they'll still maintain relationship with one or two select folks, but it's not like they're in the spaces, right?
Yeah, like this one homie, like they were like, oh yeah, like I'm not in the I was in the PIL community last year. I was like, why? Because they were like, oh, just too much.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to. I was just like, oh, that's enough for me. I don't have to go. You don't have to go further.
Yeah.
But definitely like the Pil community, it's also it's a big blessing. It's a nice community.
There's good and the bad.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. And not just the Pil, but like everywhere.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Like everywhere you go.
Yeah.
It's nice to like be in spaces that look like us.
Hell yeah.
And to like share similar cultures.
Yeah.
And get to just hang out. And just if you're in an org, like do the work that you do and everything, and that's a really huge privilege and grateful thing to have, but at the same time, like those things, like but then again, it's also in our culture. Like my parents, my family, they all chismis. I'm pretty sure everyone is just, and at the same time, it's just like,
ay nako, tita.
It's just like we can't
Tito.
we can't blame ourselves.
I know.
Like even I get all chismoso too. Like it's I don't know.
That's why I at least for me and my homies, I've been trying to shift it. Like I'm gonna do a positive chismis, right? Like I'm only if I'm gonna speak about someone, I'm gonna only hype them up. If I don't have something good to say.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna speak their name, right? Sometimes what I do is if I have a lesson learned about something, I'll just say they, or like I won't give names. I'll be like, I had this issue with this one person, but I will not give any specifics. That's why even on one of the podcasts that's actually coming out, I was talking with the homie, like one of my close friends, but even he says that he doesn't know people who've like done me wrong, like he doesn't know the name, because I'll only like say kind of the general gist of what happened to get the lesson out of it. So I think we can shift it. I think it's our responsibility to kind of shift that shit for our culture, for the culture, where like if you don't have something good to say about this motherfucker, if all you're doing is capping on the fool, like what are you contributing to the conversation, right? Let's hype people up if they're doing good, right? Let's see what's up.
And
right?
that's their name you're talking about. That's like also like that comes like their rep.
Like I think the lesson to be learned is grow up and address it to them, right? Because I think the reason why people somewhat chismis if there's an issue is because they're not addressing it to the person directly, but they still want to get it out, right? And there's a need to express that, especially if you've been wronged. There's a need to get that out. But then there's a difference between addressing the issue with the person and versus getting it out and trying to destroy their name behind their back, right? And informing, like, but there's also a balance of like kind of informing people if they're really like fucked up. Maybe there's a like, hey, stay away from that person. So I don't really know. There's a balance.
But then again, like misinformation can spread easily.
Misinformation can spread easy too.
You tell one thing to this person, and then they tell like a whole different thing to, or they like leave out like details or whatever. It's just like, where's the full story?
Exactly.
It's not even there.
Exactly. Oh, I know some cases, especially at Berkeley, of some misinformation that messed up some people. But we see no chismis. You see how I stay general with that? That's how you do it. Stay general. I ain't dropping nothing. Hey, let them. They do that shit. But at the end of the day, the lesson is, some chismis fucked up some people, man, in terms of like and then later on it turned out to be false, and like some retractions like that. But then just the general vibe of this person, how they were viewed, and then how their mental health was affected too. That affects that person that you're talking about, right? And how it gets misinterpreted because of the telephone game, right? Maybe it's not your intention to spread misinformation, but it gets messed up, right?
Exactly.
And so that's an issue, right? And like, but I still love the Filipino community. Community. I love the motherfuckers up in there, like a lot of the folks, and I still am trying to maintain relationships and grow them, right?
And when you find like your genuine, authentic space in that community, like your OGs, like it's.
I think the reason why Oh, here. I love it so much, and I've gotten a lot out of specific relationships and spaces that I can be hypercritical of it because I love it so much that I want it to live up to the standards that I believe it can live up to because of how it's blessed me so much, right? I want people to be able to engage in it and get the good out of it and minimize the bad, right? That's why I feel invested in trying to critique it and point out with intentionality of what is not going well with it, right? With that space, right?
Yeah.
Because honestly, that space is what I intentionally joined. Like when I went to Cal, when I first went, I was like, I'm gonna join the Filipino community, and I'm gonna contribute, and I'm gonna find ways to participate. And that's the only space that I was like, yo, I have to do it, even if I'm just here 2 years, right? And you know, it's got its ups and downs, right? I just think if we add in that lesson of learning how to not necessarily confront, but like be direct. Oh, that's a better word. Be direct with people if there are issues. And, you know, that's better.
Yeah.
Right? Because there were there was like maybe 2-ish moments where I learned that some people had concerns or criticisms about me, but they didn't tell me directly. Like they were like addressing it with someone else, and then that person would talk to me, but then it was never like mad. No one was like mad like that, but it was like, oh, you had that criticism of me, why don't we talk about it like that one-on-one? But they didn't, so I was like, but I think I also wanted to give grace because, you know, at least for me as a transfer who's older also, I got years on people, right? And it's, I've been told that's also kind of intimidating. I somewhat have an intimidating, like I take space in somewhat of an intimidating way because I talk loud and laugh loud and stuff like that. So I would give grace that maybe they just didn't have that skill to like come at me and be direct with me too, you know? So, you know, that's learning lessons, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it also made me kind of be more aware of like how I'm presenting myself, right? To kind of be more open in a way, or to actively say to people, hey, let me know if there's anything to invite the criticism, if that makes sense. Right. And it's all a process, right? But I vibe with you about how sometimes I can't be my Daly City self over there. You know, there's a different. But you know who I love? That's why I love Abby. That's why I love
Westmoor.
Westmoor. That's why I love people.
We went to like elementary school together.
Oh, really?
Middle school. Shout out Abby.
Shout out Abby because she's one of the folks that when I'm around her, I'm like, oh, you yourself.
Yeah, she's.
You your full
for
self,
sure.
and I love that. Like that's how I feel with Catalina. Like with their ratchetness, like the good, like this authentic ratchet.
Yeah, that's them. Yeah,
right. It's
like,
not like a front ratchet.
They're themselves.
Right? They're themselves.
And I respect that so much.
Fucking love that.
And I wish I could be like them, like just be myself. Like, you know, but hopefully when I come back, a whole new me. Right when I step on campus.
Hey, spring semester, you got 5 months, baby.
Exactly.
Maximize that shit, right? Hey, leave your mark. That's the only way to live, man. Oh, leave your mark. Oh, I just got that. I didn't even realize that pun was not on purpose. Damn. I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't think of that pun earlier.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully, you know, it's also like, you know, it's like, it's gonna probably not gonna take like when I get right there, but like, you know.
Question: where do you feel your most authentic self?
Oh, at home, the transfer trap house.
So
for context, I live in a four person apartment. So three transfers from transfer weekend. Shout out my homeboy Carl, my homeboy Josh, Felix, and then and then there's me, and then there's one traditional Ryan. Like, I love going home to my house. Like, I used to just like, study it on campus, but like I just want to go home like after end, like a long day of like daily cal stuff or pass whatever school. I want to go home, and then they're all there. I'm just like, yo, like,
And it feels good.
it feels good. Like we all vibe, we all sync. Like,
It's like you don't feel like you're holding anything back.
Yeah, like that's where I'm myself.
Interesting. But then once you get out of that, you feel like that social pressure.
Yeah,
Or like that you're being watched.
yeah, like I gotta be like a little more reserved, a little more. I gotta conform. I gotta.
Yeah.
Like this some real shit. Like I'm serious. Like I can't. Like it's hard, and I've had this conversation with a few folks, but like it's still hard for me to like be my true full self.
Unless you're at home.
Unless I'm at home. Like when I'm at home, like 100%, like because they accept me for who I am without any judgment.
Yeah,
and that's why, like, they're my homies.
That's important to have, man.
And it goes, it goes a long way.
Yeah. You know, a lesson that I learned and I've been trying to live by more now is being aware of how I feel and what comes out when I'm around certain people, right? Like, for example, in this case, if you're at home and you feel like your authentic self coming out, like I have some homies that I feel like I'm not judging myself when I'm around them. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just telling whatever joke, whatever thought comes in my head. And that what they bring out of me, right, is an indicator of who they are to me, how if I want to surround themselves, if I want to surround myself with them, right? Versus I know other people who, when I'm around them, I feel judged, or I feel like I gotta act a certain way for some reason. Like either if they have critical tendencies, like just the way that I feel, I gotta prove myself, right? And honestly, I did that sometimes at Cal. Like there are times where around this person, like I want to prove myself for some reason. For some reason, that's brought out because of who they are and how they interact with me. And then I would try to do that, right? Like fit. You want to be part of the community, especially as a new transfer with no social network yet. Like you're still trying to build and get to know people, right? And then I was thinking, it's like, why am I doing that? Why am I trying to like be accepted by this person if I feel that kind of need to conform, right? Let me go to these other people where I don't feel like I have to fucking like be something, right? It's just like hanging out.
Like when you're trying to prove yourself to people.
Yes.
The one thing I learned in like my 22 years, and I'm still trying to, fully grasp it, but like, you can't please everyone, man.
Can't please everyone.
you can't please everyone. It is what it is, but
you can only please yourself with some Kleenex, man. Stupid. Okay, go back to your point.
But you can please like the people that you fuck with, that understand you, and that are there for you. You can't please everyone.
Then that's an important realization,
even
man.
if they look like you.
Oh, dude. Shots. That's some wisdom. That's a good qualifier, right? There's another saying: not all skin folk are your kinfolk, right? Right? Not just because they look like you doesn't mean that you have to please them, and
that's okay.
That's okay.
Like you don't have to please everyone.
That's okay, man.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Dude, I mean, it's good to hear from you, like, but you're 22, you say, like, you're still young. Bro, I just learned that shit maybe when I was 27. It's not, right? Like, but, like, you come across these lessons over the years, and at least for me, I feel like I have to revisit them. Like I feel I learn it sometimes, and then I go back into a certain pattern, then I relearn it. Like, oh yeah, that's a good principle to live by, right? And I think there's these constant. It's almost like the older I get, the more I see the wisdom in cliches. Right? These lessons that everybody says again and again. And then I'm like, just be yourself. Surround yourself with good people.
And this is true. Yeah.
There's some real shit to it.
Real shit. Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like, what the fuck? Why did I not listen to that before? But that's okay too.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay to also mess up and have to relearn lessons.
Yeah. And you reflect from it.
And you reflect and you learn from it.
Exactly.
And hopefully you kind of share and teach others.
Yeah.
And then that slowly shifts the culture. Right? That slowly gets more people on the same wavelength, like you said. Right? Like we're playing the same song. Right? We're all in the same groove.
Yeah.
But, gotta accept, not everyone's playing the same song. They're in different genres, right? Maybe their genre is chismis, right? Maybe
I was gonna say like some other
maybe
genre was
they're playing
like
metal, right? Maybe while you're in the R&B groove, and it's okay. Let them play their music, right?
For sure,
right? Let them be on their vibe, but know that you're in this genre. You're in this kind of different energy and vibe. Right, it's good. I'm glad to hear, bro. You got your reflectiveness.
No, definitely. Be always in a state of reflection. Always, no matter what.
Do you have your second piece for us in terms of reflection? A little spoken word poem.
Yeah.
You said you got a second piece.
Yeah, I got a second.
Okay,
piece.
let's get the second piece. I'd like to hear this, and then I got some reflective questions to ask you, actually.
So this was like again during CC.
You haven't written anything while you were at Berkeley?
I have.
Come on, share those, bro. Share those. Those are the good ones. I know those are the good ones. Broadcast it to everyone listening, fam. Come on.
Maybe I'll do that last.
Yeah, okay, cool. Let's go into this one.
Damn it, Creek.
Yeah, boy. I know that one's going to be good.
I'm gonna head out.
Don't worry, we're not broadcasting this on the internet.
So the second one from CC, very like my old one. Just for funsies, it's called like Sweet Somethings.
Sweet Somethings, okay.
Yeah. It's about a girl.
Girl.
Yeah.
Girl.
All right. How do I approach you? Your beauty I pursue. It's true, I have no clue how to woo. I mean, what's new? I gotta get through such a daunting task. Relax. Cut me some slack. I don't do this often. I try to act hard, but reality I'm soft and vulnerable. No such thing as being comfortable. But my mouth has to move. Get in that groove. Got a lot to prove, hoping that you'd reciprocate. Let me be your date. If the stars say yes, then I gotta thank fate. Just you wait. I got all the right traits to be a great mate. Just ask the magic 8-ball. We're in this for the long haul. But as I recall, this order's tall. Hope time would stall so I can get to know you. Do what I gotta do, because at the end of the day, here's what I've been wanting to say. Bonjour, ça va? Your response, bonjour, ça va bien, et toi? Without ever saying adieu. I took French in high school. So that's the only thing I remember in French class. Don't ask me to translate.
Okay. You know what? This just brought me to a flashback because you were talking about how you wrote that at CC, right? I remember fall 2018 when we had like our first community events and stuff. I think we had like our first Filipino party. I think it was in the back of Angelica's spot. And then we were in like circles chilling and talking, and then you were sharing your love story about you were getting into simp mode of like your previous relationship and things like that. Do you remember that night? Your first semester year. And then there was like a bunch of the transfers came through. That was the first time we were drinking. Do you remember that? You don't?
Like, whose spot was it?
In the backyard of Angelica's.
Backyard.
No, you don't remember? In the apartment, it's like, and then there was a pool in the back, but where it's overlooking, and then that's the night when I think you don't. I forgot the tall dude got hella drunk, and then
Carl?
no,
Oh.
like a 4 year. I forgot. And then. But you don't remember. Anyway, I remember the vibe because it was mellow and then everybody was kind of talking about love, relationships, and then you've had a few drinks also, and then you start going into your previous relationship before Cal. And then it was kind of getting reflective and kind of sad, but also deep and all that stuff. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that, but but I know that I get pretty like I'm a simpy, yeah.
Bro,
I get pretty
I was
reflective.
right about to say. I think that's why we vibe too,
No,
because
yeah.
we're both simpy boys.
I'm such a sad
bro.
boy, yeah.
Such a simpy shit. And then like if you think he's simpy like with these poems, you should see his Finsta.
Whoa there. I think because people say it's like because it's my Pisces moon apparently.
Ah.
I'm always sad. when
I'm a Cancer moon.
Oh, you're
That's what
sad
they
too.
say. Yeah, I'm sad. So that's why I feel we vibe too, because
Yeah,
I
we're just
understand
so
like we feel things pretty
Yeah.
deep.
And I think honestly, it was one of my like. I would quote it like my weakness / like insecurity, but now I think of it as like my strength, because reflecting, like feeling emotions just like feeling something is something that's like important and that we should all, embrace. It's like we should embrace all our emotions because that's coming from us, like that Inside Out movie.
Real shit. That was a
Sadness
good
is always there. Sadness is always pressing the button.
Exactly. It's a good
Yeah.
movie.
But like it's okay to be sad. It's because that's how you feel, and you have to embrace that. Embrace how you feel in the moment, and you don't fight what you're feeling, what you're currently feeling. Because before I would always fight. Like I know I'm a sad boy, and I would always fight not to be a sad boy. Like at night I would always fight not to be sad, even though I like go on my Spotify playlist and play all the simpy music. But at the same time, it's just like that's how you're feeling, and you have to embrace it, and that what makes us human. Yeah, to feel, to emote, to show emotion, and that's what's great about us as human beings. We feel.
I think a complication as simpy boys is that as dudes we're kind of socialized and expected not to be simpy boys.
No, yeah.
Right? Like not to necessarily feel those emotions or be sad. There's a little level of, at least the way I was raised, the hyper masculinity to be like, don't be fucking sad, boy.
Yeah, don't cry.
Don't cry. Or like fuck them bitches,
Yeah.
Like, hey, just get another hoe, though that kind of paradigm, right? Especially, I think, at least for me, especially if it's sadness because of a girl, right? There's a certain level of like, yo, contain that, right? And and it's not acknowledging what you actually feel, right? Like what you were saying. I really love what you said about like, hey, those are part of being human, and that's what you are, right? That's what you are feeling, and if you deny it, you're basically denying yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And like going off of that, like like don't cry, right? Wag kang umiyak, right? And it's like in middle school, high school, like I hardly cried because like I had that mentality, like just don't cry, don't show emotion. And if I was close to crying, I was like fighting, I was fighting not to let the tears go down. Like, you can clearly see my eyes are getting watery, but no tears falling down. And it wasn't until like, CC and like, Cal, like that's when I'm just like, just let it out. Cause it helps. It helps just letting things out by crying or talking. It really does help.
You know who I actually appreciate and respect that I've seen cry is Manong Rod. because he would sometimes be teaching and he would go into specific stories, whether it's about his mom or a personal story connected to certain lessons, right? Even if he's like a city council member now, if there is something that he's really digging deep to express and brings about that emotion, he'll let the tears go.
Yeah.
He'll still continue talking and finish his point and continue the lesson, but he's not like holding it in or nothing. And I really appreciated seeing that, especially in class.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because, there's a certain expectation. Some teachers will be like, no, I can't show that, right? Because they're the teacher, right? But then him being in that position and letting himself be authentic, I vividly remember seeing that a few times.
Because we're crying and we're showing emotion, like when you're, specifically when you're crying, it shows like passion. It shows like how much like you fuck with that like thing or person, and it just shows how much of an impact that person, place, or whatever has made an impact on you, and that's why you're crying, because like if they left or whatever happened to them or something, it just shows the impact of that person, place, or thing.
I actually before made a Tumblr once called Things That Made Me Cry, because I really believe in that principle that things that make you cry is kind of an indicator of what's important to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I like vividly, there are times when I'm in the Philippines that I would cry because of the situation of some of the youth that I'm visiting and seeing, and it made me realize that I really hold importance to the youth and education and those who do not have access to the same privileges that I've been born into, right? And also another thing that makes me cry is my Lola, right? There were times where I would break down just thinking of her situation in terms of health or finances to care for her, or even just her once she passed, right? Just thinking of like what to do things in honor for her, and or even sometimes the sad parts like the regret, right? I'll cry if I was thinking of like, fuck, I didn't visit her when I could have, right? And I really believe in that idea of acknowledging what moves you, and sometimes that is to tears, because that is an indicator and almost a forced self-reflection of what is important to you.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we gotta acknowledge that more and let the tears flow, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Just like let it out.
Let it out, bro. It's okay. You're still a man.
Exactly.
You're still a man if you cry.
Yeah, bro. And it's crazy because like, with masculinity, like no crying. Gotta be tough and everything. But like, so crying, you're a man even though you cry. Like, you're still a man if you cry.
Yeah.
You're still a man if you're not the most rugged looking or whatever. Like, it's I've learned what it means to be like a man, like through like experiences. Yeah, because again, like I had like the typical traditional Filipino, wag kang umiyak, like be you got you got to be strong and everything, but it's okay to be vulnerable. Yeah, as a man.
Yeah. See, I think there are healthy aspects of masculinity that we should embrace, and there are also the unhealthy ones that we should kind of improve on, right? And I think it's important that we continue having these discussions, and also like have these discussions with our parents and like intergenerationally. That's the tough part. That's the tough part.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the tough part. But at least for me, I'm at that point where I've been able to start having those discussions, right? Yeah. Like even with my brother, my pops, things like that are somewhat like hopefully breaking those intergenerational bad habits, right? Whether that's with the crying or things like that, or cheating, things like that. So, and there's different. It's not going to be the same for everybody. There's maybe from family to family, it's different, right? But then at least there's opportunities to do that, and that should be a goal.
Yeah.
Right, to bridge those gaps like
Yeah.
across generations too.
And definitely when you do want like a family in the future, if you want kids, like definitely like, you know, your experiences when you were growing up, you know, you pass it on and like,
Yes.
you know, you let them, you know, experience the things that you didn't want, you don't want them to experience that you experienced when you were younger.
Yes. Like improve on it.
Improve
on it.
Like for sure, like if I do ever have a family and kids, like I'm gonna be like a different, you know, parent, you know.
I think you'll have a family. I think I see you having kids at 30.
Why'd you read my mind? That's so scary.
8 years. Hey, we might have kids at the same time because gonna have kids when I'm like 35. And then so you'll be 35, 36.
Because my mom had me when she was like 30.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my mom and dad had me when I was 30, when they were 35 ish.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mind reader. I was like, don't say 30.
Because I feel it from your energy. You on the younger side, 30.
Yeah. I want to do as much as possible.
Yeah,
before I settle down. you know.
Yeah. Cool. So now coming to the end, I like asking this question. What are 3 pieces of advice that you would give? Oh wait, no. Before we close it, since we're on the acknowledgement side and reflection side, can we have that third piece? That third piece to share before we go into the reflection, because I think that can spur a little bit more questions.
I hate you.
I'm just setting the stage, man. I'm allowing people to express themselves, and I really feel that we vibe on the simp vibes. So that's why I feel we're on the same wavelength. I think that's why we vibe with Josh.
Yeah. He's a sad boy too.
Josh is a sad boy.
I know he's in the Philippines as of right now.
I don't know.
I hung out
Sad
with
boy.
him.
I think Simpboi.
Simpboi.
We're
Simpboi.
simp boys, not necessarily sad all the time, right? But
Yeah.
simp boys, right?
I hung out with him in the Philippines.
How was
Super
that?
fun. It was really fun.
What did y'all do?
So I took a Grab, right? The Uber, the Southeast Asian version of Uber,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Grab, and then to Quezon City.
Yeah. Where were you say you were in?
I was in Sampaloc.
Sampalo.
Yeah, where my dad's from. And then so it was like not even that far. And then we were supposed to go to a bar, but that bar closed. And he was like, okay, we'll just like go to like an SM, like Trinoma or something.
Yeah.
And then we like walked a little bit, and then we got a taxi. He got a taxi. And
That was funny. I met him at Trinoma too.
he told me,
like 2 years ago.
yeah. He's like, oh, this is where I saw Kuya Chris. And then we went to Trinoma, and then we chilled. And then the homegirl Bea, also from Cal, she was like, oh, like I'm in Makati, like we should all like drink
Yeah.
and hang out. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So like he was like, oh, have you ridden the MRT, their BART,
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I was like, oh yeah. So apparently it's really like packed when it's
Yeah.
like rush hour, but
Yeah.
good thing it wasn't packed.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't?
because it was like the day before New Year's. So it was like the 31st
Oh.
or the 31st. Yeah, and then it was really empty. So like air conditioned. I got my
that's
seat.
surprised.
MRT's cool.
Yeah.
When it's not rush hour.
Yeah. It's not.
And
When it's
then-
rush, I've been in a rush
Yeah.
hour, bro. You're like sardines.
Yeah, and then he showed me like it was like a 30-minute ride. Like showed me like all these places. And like, oh, this is where Kui Chris is from and everything.
Oh, really? We passing. Y'all passed my passing.
Yeah.
Dope.
And then we stopped at SM Makati, and so we went to like. That's all connected, like
Yeah.
SM Makati, Glorieta, 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And then we met up with like Bea
Where?
and her kuya. Was it Glorieta of like 4? or something? Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
And then like we just like drank.
That's fun. Well, was this? This is the first time you've been since 2014. You said.
2014, yeah.
How is it? What's your experience going back? How do you view the Philippines?
Woo-wee. I was only there for 2 weeks. So the first
Yeah.
week I was in the province, Laguna. My mom's from Santa Cruz, Laguna, which is the capital. It was fun. Like I've lived in Santa Cruz like for a year, and like I was born there. So Man, it changed a lot. Like I remember, like I was a kid, there was like one Jollibee, right? One McDonald's and one mall. 2014, same thing. Those three, and then like a little more stores. When I come back, they got a Bonchon. They got
yep.
hella boba places.
Yeah.
They got all these. They got another big mall, and I was like, yo, like the commercialization, like it's crazy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I just came back and it's just like
It just exploded.
Yeah,
Yep,
with all these American restaurants and
yep.
everything, and then all these like local restaurants are like serving like pasta, like American food.
Yep.
And I'm just like, yo, like this is crazy. Like, is this the Santa Cruz Laguna that I'm used to? Like, no, like it's different now. And it's crazy. And then I was just like, yo, like I was content with just like the McDonald's, and they have a KFC now too. I was content with just a Jollibee, McDonald's, and the mall back then, and now they have everything. I'm just like, yo, this is overwhelming. And I was just like, you gotta embrace change. I was like, all right. I mean, if it brings like happiness to people and money or joy, then
Real talk. Let's go to Jollibee after this.
I'm down. But yeah, so I was there for the first week, and then I hung out with like my pinsans, my cousins.
Yeah. You still got a lot of family there?
Yeah, from my mom's side. Yeah. So they're all like grown up now. Like we're all like they all have jobs, so I couldn't really like hang out with them all the time because they're all busy.
Are they older than you?
Same age, like roughly like 2 years older, 2 years younger, something like that. But they're all like they all have jobs, and everything, all busy. So I was just like at home all the time, doing nothing, getting bitten by mosquitoes,
Stupid.
and just eating a lot. The food
is good, right?
and oh my god, I had so many like San Miguel's, Red Horses. They have a big bottle of Red Horse, like
the
1 liter.
or 1 liter.
That's crazy for like 82 pesos, which is like $1 and something.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That was my diet, like hella rice, hella food, all that, hella beer.
Sounds healthy, bro.
And and then so the second week, that's when I went to Manila. It's a whole new ball game. Manila is crazy, super fast paced.
Yeah,
the traffic or the driving is just crazy.
Yeah.
People don't yield.
Yeah,
you just go. There's like hella motorcycles.
Yeah,
it was scary. It was like I was like, oh okay, like I was like, but the drivers know what they're doing.
Yep.
And the honking is a requirement to drive. You gotta honk.
It's just like saying, "Hey, I'm here."
Exactly.
Yep.
But it was just the hustle and bustle, and just like it's crazy, like the high-rise buildings, and below that, just
it's a little too packed for me. Manila's too packed for. Even if I grew up there, and that's like my home, like Pasig.
Yeah.
I'd rather live like in Ilocos or something. Like go a little farther.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, like I do love like city life. Like I love like, and I went to like Fort Bonifacio, like BGC. Yeah. I went to like all these malls and everything, but I'm just like, yo, like I love the province. I love the quietness of the province.
Yeah, the malls just get too much.
Too much. Like
I don't get how people
all these like I remember in Glorietta, they had like the Louis V's, the Gucci's out there, and the people were just flexing. Dude, the Philippines, it's like flex
capital,
bro. They got everyone at least had like 2 brands in them, like their shoes, of course, their bags, their shirt,
and then you also have the different levels of flex, like because you have the old titas, right, with that. Then you have the youngins with the Supremes,
like everybody, like
Champion.
like all the kids had the shoulder bags, and then they had like they're all branded and stuff. I was like, yo, like it's
people
crazy.
rocking Off-White there,
and like Balenciagas and like Yeezys. I'm like, shit, like I only got bands on and like it's just it's like it's crazy, like how they're so influenced by Western culture. And again, I don't blame them.
It's part of the colonial history,
exactly.
right?
Like,
and the eventual neo-colonial commercialization, right? And consumerism. I say it's a caricature of Western consumerism that is taken to another level in the Philippines with the malls, with the amount of malls and the brands. There are brands there that are thriving that would die here in the U.S. Like the Krispy Kremes, like the struggle they even had before the house brand of Target, Massimo. They used to have a full-on store there. No way. Yeah, like a full-on, like just their own store, their own like brand being sold there. It's just because there's a glorification of American brands.
Oh, they got Burger King too.
They got Burger King.
They got Burger King too.
They got everything there. Like it's almost become it's become a business to bring foreign brands into the Philippines because of the instant market capture that they're able to get because of how much the locals have been conditioned to want Western and American brands. Like even Popeyes popped off there because they just, it's American. Like that. Right.
Yeah, and like it's crazy, like because Manila's big, right? And like of course, like Makati, that's like the financial district. It's crazy, and then you have like BGC, which is like Taguig and everything, and it's crazy because like each sector of Manila is different.
Yeah,
it's like New York or something, but it's like it's different.
Yeah,
like of course like Tondo is like and then Sampaloc is different. Like everything is different, and it's crazy. Like you really see the difference.
Yeah,
like when you go on that highway and you see the high-rise buildings, you're just like, oh Yep, it's different.
Yep.
And that's why I just love the simplicity of like the province, like the quiet, like
the fresher air, bro.
Oh yeah,
the fresher air. Oh my god.
I go outside. Yep. But like in Manila, like we're in Sampaloc where my dad's from. Like that, it's just so. Like they have like it's so loud, it's so loud. Like and back in Laguna, it's just so quiet.
Yeah.
Like no one, like there's no noise by like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm just like what the. But so like New Year's, right? I spent New Year's in Laguna.
Oh, that's fun.
There was a hurricane. There was a typhoon.
Oh really?
It was a signal number 2.
Really?
So it was like flooding.
Oh really?
New Year's.
So you didn't get to see any fireworks?
No, not New Year's. Just kidding. Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas.
So usually the kids are outside like caroling and stuff, but not that time. It was, oh my god, I was low-key scared because it was like rising. I was like, oh, are we gonna be okay? Like everyone was just chill. I was like,
it didn't go into the house.
No.
It was just the main street.
The main street. It was flooded though.
But you spend New Year's there also?
I spent New Year's at Manila.
Oh, so you got to see all the fireworks everywhere,
crazy.
Right?
And then like people, they're not scared. They're just like, boom, like just it's.
Do you get to drive around after and see all the trash?
No. There's
hell after. But I think they've gotten better at cleaning up. Recently. But yeah, it's a trip, man. I'm glad to.
It was nice. It was a nice 2-week. A lot of food, a lot of beer, a lot of self-reflection.
Yeah.
I don't know. Being in a different country got you all in a state of like constant reflection. I don't know what it is, but it's just like.
Because you're out of the system. You're out of the... Just like how we say, out of the Berkeley bubble, come in here to Daly City and you get some kind of insight. Yeah, definitely traveling to another spot. Even home is another like reflection. And on some weird energy shit... I really feel I'm a different energy when I'm in the Philippines, especially when I'm in the province. Like I feel rooted. I feel more like myself in a way. I mean, like I'm still myself here and all that stuff, but there's another energy that I'm tapping into, whether it's the nature, whether it's just like some ancestral shit. Like it's different being there. And I definitely get more of self-reflective, but also, just generally traveling. Because you see that the things that you've considered norms and this is the way of life is not the only way of life, right? I think that was for me a big hit when I visited Vietnam. I was like, oh, there's completely different physical orientations of buildings because they have a vertical French style of just how people are sitting or eating. Like they'll sit you like low on those small chairs or sit you with different people on a different table, right? Versus Western like big table. So there's definitely differences, and it challenges your notions of normality, or this is how it's supposed to be, right? And then I guess it makes you reflect that, like, then where do I want to situate myself in then? Like, and how have I normalized certain ways of living, and what's actually what I want to do? You know, it makes you think in that way.
Yeah.
Right. So I do think traveling is good.
Yeah. Hopefully you do it more when I graduate.
Hey, the summer. Yeah, there's a summer trip that's open right now to the Philippines. They're taking applications. It's like those exposure trips to visit different communities and things like that. Kabataan Alliance, shout out. And I think it's really good for a lot of FilAms to do that, because, you know, it's good to also have time in family time, but then it's also good to kind of see different places in the Philippines without the lens of vacationing, you know, like, or without even the lens of family sometimes, right? So I always encourage folks to do like those trips and stuff. But in transition, could we have that little poem now that we've set the stage?
All right. I hate you. Yeah, I think this is like, if not like one of the only poems I wrote at Cal, because again, busy, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have time to write unless it's for the Daily Cal.
Unless it's for the Daily Cal.
Or
unless you're on deadline.
Yeah, or you're running a paper for class. But yeah, it has no title, and I just this is just one thing I wrote, but yeah, hope y'all like it. And it's like the theme is like time. Yeah. Horas. I wish we had more time. Time spent not counting the days, but the time we'll spend together till we age. I wish we had more time. Time spent just to talk or go to places we won't be able to walk. I wish we had more time. Time to just mess around and dance, not think about when's going to be our last chance. I wish we had more time. Time to disagree with each other and fight, so we can show one another how we're able to make things right. I wish we had more time. Time so I can still hold you tight. A bond lasting from weeks, months, years, days, and nights. I wish I had more time. Even I knew time was few. Every day spent with you, I learned something new. I wish we had more time. So there will be no goodbye and days in which we cry. I wish we had more time, for when the day comes and you have to go, remember us and your heart will know.
Time snaps to that. Hey, you only have. I wish you had more time as a transfer.
I know. Yeah.
Do you want to share anything about that piece? Reflection, or like, do you like, at least for the process of, is it therapeutic for you to write this stuff out?
Yeah. Again, like, it's what I learned was like, you can't bottle things up. You just gotta like either say it or talk to someone or write or, you know, whatever you need to let it out. Cry.
I think we talked before, and you mentioned that one of your outlets is really just with your homies, like talking things out.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, I shout out to the Trap House. I just literally like they're my safe. They're my rocks. They're like my safe haven. So I literally can tell them anything.
And your rave buddies.
I'm like retired until February or something.
What's in February?
I don't know, like Galantis or something.
How about Coachella, bro?
If I can get week 1, because week 2 is PCN and Cal Day.
Oh, so that's why most people are going week 1.
But it's sold out.
It's sold out.
So you can only find resellers.
Yeah, and that's expensive. Yeah.
We'll
Interesting. See. Okay. Because I was thinking week 2, but okay.
I was too either, but PCN, I was like,
But bro, the lineup for R&B, bro, this is Simp Fest, bro. They have everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
And then they even have Rex Orange County.
Yeah, they got
dude, like.
Dude, the lineup is stacked. It's stacked.
It's stacked. At least for hip hop and R&B, it's a good selection, right? So I haven't been back in years.
2017. I
might try to go. But cool. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate. Thanks for giving all the insights from the transfer life, academics, journalism, back to the Philippines. Reflecting on all this, the question that I like to ask is, what are 3 pieces of advice that you would give to your younger self? And it can be younger self, but also like maybe someone younger going through similar aspects, or if they see themselves in you, right? Like if there's another Simpboi out there, right? What would you give 3 pieces of advice?
So damn, I feel like I'm like 22. Those. You've been through a lot. So from my 22 years of living, one is, I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, for better or for worse. You know, life happens, man. Like, you know, for better or worse, like just shit happens. You know, like if one thing doesn't go your way, it's not the end of the world. Maybe it's meant to be like that, because for you to learn something, you know, for you to take in like a lesson or something. And if something goes right, then like, you know, there's also a lesson to that. Like there's always something to learn from your experiences. And like, literally it's still my first advice. It's like, still like, you know, don't sweat on stuff you can't control. Yeah. I'm still learning that. It's been a struggle, but truly, like, you know, life has something in store for you. Yeah. And sometimes you just got to be patient. And again, with the theme of cliches, like it just takes time. Yeah. So that's like all number one. One. So 2, these are all cliches. Just, you know, be your authentic self. Try to be. Yeah.
Try to
like,
be your
yeah.
authentic
Be is
self.
like it's hard, but like try, because you'll only attract people that genuinely care about you for your authentic self. You know, people that want to be in your presence for who you are, for your, you know, your not so good traits, for your good traits, and, you know, for everything in between. And those are the people worth like keeping like forever. Yeah, like after college or whatever. Because they're the ones there for you. Like they're the ones, and especially the ones that have been with you when you're at your lowest. You know, because when you're in your highest, when you're on the top of the ladder, then that's when you take them with you, because they were there with you when you were at your lowest. And no one, and if you didn't believe in yourself, they did. And that's the people you gotta keep. And 3rd, that's hard. Okay, 3rd is, don't take life too seriously. I think I got it from my dad for sure. My mom's on the more serious side, but my dad, I owe a lot to my dad for being who I am today. Because as hardworking as he is, and as like serious that he gets, you know, as like the breadwinner, as the dad, like he knows when to have fun, when to like let things loose, when to like crack jokes, when to be goofy. I got like my silliness, my goofiness from him. My tendency to just like laugh at everything or to smile, like I got it from him. Like life is already too serious. Like so much shit is going on. You already know, like shit's going on, like in the world, in your personal lives, like in your own bubble, whatever. Like shit's just like going on. So that's why, like, don't take life serious all the time. There's a time when to be serious, of course, but there's also a time when you can just like let loose and just have fun and like, you know, just ride the wave. Like, not everything has to be serious. You can crack jokes. You can be goofy. And then again, it ties with the first one. And people that fuck with you will, like, you know, will appreciate that, or like will like accept you for who you are. Yeah. You know? So that's like my biggest thing. Just like, and I just thought of this because like someone told me that, like last semester. They're just like, you know what I appreciate about you is just that like you know when to you don't take things like serious all the time, and that's a good thing. And like if there's one thing I'm proud of is that, because like I feel like, and again with the cliches, like laughter is like one of the best medicines, man.
It is, man.
A good laugh after a hard day of work or school, whatever, like
It is.
it's like it's so like therapeutic. Like, and there's a science behind like the and whatever
Endorphins.
yeah like just smiling and laughing and just being goofy.
Yeah. And it's also a great way to be in communion with others.
Exactly.
Sharing laughs, man.
Yeah.
That's another level
and
of
you'll never
connection.
forget that memory.
Yeah.
So I guess those are my three, advice for
Word. It was okay. The last one was don't take things too seriously. Second one was try to be your authentic self.
Yeah. And first is everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens
for better or worse.
For a reason. For a reason. Cool. Thank you, Ading Marc Escobar.
Thank you so much.
How can people get in touch with you?
So there's my Instagram.
Finsta? Or Instagram?
Instagram. Marc Escobar 7. MarcEscobar 7. And there's my Twitter. MJ Escobar, MJESCO. BAR 7, and then there's also my Daily Cal archive or where my stuff
all your
is.
articles.
Yeah. It's so if there's like a link, but like if there's like if you go on a Daily Cal, there's like a search bar and just put like Marc Escobar and then
cool.
But there's also a link to that.
What's your
there's my LinkedIn. It's on my LinkedIn too.
What's your middle name? J. What's the J?
Oh no. So Marc Joseph is my full
first name. There
and
you
then
go.
Odehar is my middle name.
Odehar.
Yeah, my Lolo's.
So Marc Joseph Odehar Escobar.
Yeah, I was named after my Lolo and my dad, because my Lolo is Marcelo, so Marc, right? And then Joseph, my dad is Jose Ahmed.
So you're really an MJ.
They're like, I'm gonna call you MJ, and I was like, okay, no one ever does.
No one ever does. Yeah.
The amount of times I've heard, I'm gonna call you MJ, and that they haven't, I'll be rich by now.
MJ, yeah, you don't look like an MJ.
I'm the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Okay. Yeah,
MJ.
It's okay. No one ever calls me like Marc Joseph too. So.
Cool. Do you have any shout outs?
Oh yeah, I shouted them out before, but I'll do it again. But shout out to the Transfer Trap House.
Transfer Trap House.
Yeah. Shout out to the Pam, Kuya Chris. I love the Pam. Delta Hustlers. Shout out to my parents.
Nanay Tatay.
Yeah. Shout out to my fam.
Visit them more.
I should. Shout out to like the Westmoor Skyline homies. Y'all know who you are.
Westmoor.
And of course, shout out to like the Berkeley homies. Y'all know who you are. Shout out to the past staff 35. Transfers. Shout out to the transfers. Damn, a lot to shout out. Rod. A lot, man.
For sure. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Yeah.
Let's go get some Jollibee.
Thank you, Kuya.
Hey.